Last week in France, we witnessed a phenomenal duel between Romain Rateau and championship leader Ray Kingsbury, which resulted in the championship leader winning for the 5th time this season, while Kevin Fanning tumbled down the order to a 7th place finish. In the M class, Tucker Lindgren's luck ran out as he made several mistakes en route to finishing 5th in his class, while Raymond Rodriguez finally sealed the deal on his first victory of the season. We enter the penultimate round of the season with both titles still alive. But is the momentum leaving the challengers at the worst possible time? We'll find out together tonight. SimCAR from Mexico City is next. Our venue tonight is the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, opened in 1959. This 2.674-mile layout features a front straightaway that measures over a mile in length, a flowing SS section, and the signature stadium complex, offering all types of corners to challenge our drivers tonight. It's going to be super fun to watch. The format for the SimCAR Grand-Am Series is as follows. The drivers are finishing open practice now, which leads us into a 15-minute qualifying session to set the grid for our 60-minute race this evening. The 15th season of the SimCAR Grand-Am Series continues tonight live on the Automotive Sports Network, with Bryan Sawyer in the production truck and next to me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz as we welcome you to Mexico City, Mexico. The SimCAR Grand-Am Series on ASN is brought to you by Penguin RC Simulation, trusted by racers for their unbeatable support, rock-solid product guarantees, and high-performance sim gear. When you want equipment you can rely on lap after lap, Penguin RC Simulation delivers every time and is proud to present the Penguin RC Simulation Drivers' Championship. By Too Fast Racing, a massive sim community built on the high-octane world of Beam NG drag racing, now taking on iRacing with over 14,000 members. From the drag strip to the curves here at SimCAR, Too Fast Racing is where speed lives. By Lambert Designs, the official graphics, talked about potential clinching early for Kingsbury. How are you? What are we thinking here in Mexico?
Hey Josh, super excited for this race tonight. We got like 14, 15 cars in here this evening. I'm thinking we're finishing with about half of them. This is a very difficult track to drive quickly. I've been practicing it a lot with Ray this week, and all I know is to be fast here, you have to cut pretty much every single curb. You're going up over everything. It's a very bumpy ride.
Which is hilarious because the surface itself, billiard table smooth as it is the host of the Mexico City Grand Prix for Formula One. But I agree with you. I didn't practice it, but I've been watching these guys through this practice session. I don't even know what word you want to use. The impalement of your car onto the curbs, over the curbs. It's like Magny-Cours last week, where we're going to see effectively some rallycross jumps here in Mexico City. And I'm super excited as we get set to roll for qualifying. Before we do, Bryan, let's take a look at the championships coming into this penultimate round.
Absolutely, Josh. So looking at the overall standings, Ray Kingsbury sitting at 254 points to Kevin Fanning's 232. Cody Crosgrove's at 178. Raymond Rodriguez at 166. Tucker Lindgren, Dex Lindgren, Karsten Quint, Scott Lindgren, Matt Kingsbury, and Christian Young will round out the top 10. Over in the AM standings, Raymond Rodriguez holding on 250 points to 221 by Tucker Lindgren. Feel like that might be wrong. Unsure. Karsten Quint, Scott Lindgren, Bryan Sones, Josh Sussey, Clinton Funk, Josh Stoltz, Marwan Mafta, and Rob Edgel are our top 10.
The points are massively unofficial, and I bring this up because we have a different scoring system than SimCAR does proper. In their system, Raymond Rodriguez has a 1-point lead over Tucker, and Ray Kingsbury has a 29-point lead over Kevin Fanning. But that system does not factor in the drop weeks. So I'm not sure, but we're going to see some good racing. First car on track, Romain Rateau in the 23. And Bryan, are we going to see chapter 2 of this story here tonight between these two?
Oh, I hope so. At this point, Romain's just here just for fun. He's nowhere near able to do a championship, just coming in for a few exhibition races. So I think he's going to race his heart out. Didn't
you say he drove the Porsche normally, and he's in the Porsche?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
he drove the McLaren last week. That was interesting to see.
Fastest in practice was Romain by a full second over Kevin Fanning in the 911. Ray Kingsbury was a further 1/10 of a second behind his championship rival. So Ray has the chance to unofficially clinch his 4th championship at the end of tonight, but truthfully, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to go as if he's not, because with the unofficial nature of these points, not really sure what's going on. But I understand what you're meaning, Bryan, because Ray is on these curbs on his warm-up lap, and he is nearly losing the car.
Yeah, so what are we coming up into? Coming into
Stadium section.
Stadium section's actually not too bad. Cut this first one a hair, but you got to keep it real nice and slow into this next area. Turn 1 through 3 is really the make or break part of this track. You go out into the blue here, which I thought was very interesting. You just basically leaves the track to get the best exit for the front stretch. Ray gets a little squirrely on
all
exit.
Over trying to get ready for this qualifying lap. And
yeah.
I don't entirely know if him passing Romain was a good idea. Now he's punching a hole in the air through this massive front straightaway here in Mexico City, heading down to the first corner.
Yeah, don't use the curbing on the outside. Your car will get way too unstable. You got to slow down and keep it to the right as much as you can. He went way too wide there. You need to open up turns 2 through 3. You basically want a straight line and not go through them. You don't want to turn through them. You basically want to make a straight line to give yourself all the speed you can through this backstretch. Same thing with this. You want to get real slow, cut the curb, basically make a straight line. They're trying to double apex it, which isn't ideal. Then the rest of the track is pretty straightforward. Standard racing, but you'll watch here. You'll watch how much liberty you can take with track cuts. You'll be able to cut the corner a little bit here. The next one is just massive. You're basically off course. There he is, completely off course. No gas at all through this section. You basically lift, coast. It's such a tight turn, but you need to maintain speed. The best way to do it is not be pushing the gas. Come through to the stadium section on the left. We saw this already. It's pretty straightforward, minor cut, and then just be safe. You get too much on the gas, you're going to twist it around. Romain Rateau flies through. Says, "What are you doing?"
Ray's giving it up. He used this first lap as a warm-up lap. There must have been a mistake somewhere. Interesting that they are definitely off the road in essentially the final corner here in Mexico City. And now I think the first qualifying lap is going to begin for Kingsbury in the 25. Inaugural champion, 3-time series champion, slipstreaming Romain Rateau. Romain set the benchmark at a 143.324. Jean Majoribanks 144.925. Kevin Fanning 144.4 for the 911. Christian Youngwall 44.447. Very close between him and Fanning as times roll in. Scott Lindgren goes to 5th. Tucker goes to 4th. Fastest AM car. Something to note, I can't remember though, I don't think Scott changed cars, but he definitely has changed liveries to match his sons in the 4. Raymond Rodriguez, 7th quick, Bryan, after the first laps, a couple spots down on Tucker.
Yeah, when Ray and I were practicing earlier this week, he says, "Bryan, I'm really slow. I don't know what's going on." We looked at some data with some fast people that were running 140s unbelievably on this track. And figured out what we were doing wrong. We were looking at the slalom section, and we're staying on the track because we're good boys. And then we look and we see why is the fast car 20 feet further to the right than I am?
The track limits are that relaxed here?
Yes. You leave the track essentially. As long as you have a tire on the red and white, you're pretty much golden. You'll see what Ray when he comes through the slalom here in a moment. We're about to come up to it. BMW struggles a little bit with this first turn here. He can't cut it as wide as he wants, but you just leave the track essentially.
143.199. Sorry, Bryan. P2 for Ray Kingsbury, but Romain improved to a 42.8. There's 3.5 tenths between these two at the front of the field. Kevin Fanning pips Kingsbury by 100th of a second in the 911.
Oh, Clinton Funk losing the car.
So Clinton Funk has stolen the safety car and has crashed the safety car because he crashed his car. There was a big story that I was told of in practice because they scrambled to find a safety car in the streets of Mexico City. They found one. They duct taped the word safety car onto it. And then I'm looking through the field, Bryan, and I see that Clinton Funk is not in his normal purple livery. Thief. Should be jail time. We're going to have plenty of sympathy corners for him tonight.
I don't doubt it. I'm sorry, Clinton, but this track's real hard.
As Ray Kingsbury through the S's. In front of him is Romain Moratteau. I was looking off monitor at Marwan Moftah crashing in the Peraltada, turn number 15. And Moratteau leads Kingsbury, leads Fanning, leads Majority Bank. So the pro cars are in order as we look at Fanning in the 911. Off the final corner, if we could take a look at Moratteau in the 23 across the line. Will he improve? He does by a further 0.2 of a second. Kingsbury looking to improve as well. The lap doesn't count. Fanning will cross the line to end his third lap in qualifying. What will he do in the 911? 42.894. So he improves. Kingsbury's down now. John Majority Banks with Christian Youngwall in tow. The 30 crosses the line. 58.7, 47.2 for Youngwall. Scott Lindgren to P1 in the AM class at a 43.797. And now, these two AM class championship protagonists, Bryan, for the moment, right next to each other in qualifying. Final corner for Raymond Rodriguez across the line, 144.232. He goes to P1 in the class by about 1/10.5 over Bryan Sohn. Next car up, Karsten Quint ran a 45.1. He is 10th overall. Arif Aziz in the 212 will cross the line, 146.462. We've got Clinton Funk and Marwan Moftah. Moftah, the reigning AM class champion, has had torrid luck this season as the Egyptian, as he is currently sitting 6th in class, 11th overall.
You know, Josh, I'm not feeling too bad about myself right now. I only could get down to about a 145 this week practicing. I famously don't drive these. They're too much car for me, so I'm pretty happy seeing some other 145s on the table.
The car's too much and there's more than 5 turns, Bryan. You already are set up for failure when there's too many corners for you.
I really should just go to oval. There's only 2 turns.
Drag racing would be better for you, but we don't have that on iRacing. Romain Moratteau's 4th lap didn't count. Kingsbury's lap didn't count, whereas Fanning across the line, 1 minute 42.889 for the 911. It's hard to bet against Kingsbury in the 25, but I just wonder, with 5 wins, how is he going to win tonight? We don't know, of course. We're not crystal ball script writers, but he's won races in crazy fashion this season, and he's down by 0.3 on Fanning in qualifying. Rodriguez, 1 minute 43.183. Wow! Up there with the big boys is the AM Class Championship leader, ahead of the overall championship leader.
I saw that predicted time drop from 143.9 to 143 blank, and I was like, oh, something must be wrong. And then he said it. Excellent job.
As Romain Moratteau, if we can take a look at him through the S's, heading to the back straight. Here in Mexico City, right behind him on track through the S's is Ray Kingsbury. And Moratteau in the Porsche. Into the former baseball stadium, was converted into this chicane stadium complex for the Grand Prix track back in 2015.
There's still a baseball stadium back there.
I know, there's just no grass from what I know. Or maybe they still play baseball in there.
There's still a full baseball stadium back there.
Oh, we
Much
learn
smaller.
something new every day. Lap 5 doesn't count for Moratteau. Let's look at Kingsbury in the 25. championship leader, 5 wins this season out of 8 races. Ran across the line 46.8. So that must have been a throwaway lap at some point for the 25. Kevin Fanning, 42.9, stays second quick. He had a slipstream from his teammate That's exactly what Marlon Moftar was doing. I took a look off monitor earlier. He was parked in the S's waiting for his teammate to go through. Scott Lindgren crosses the line. Tucker Lindgren crosses the line. Tucker goes to 8th quick overall in the 997. What can Ray do now in the 129? Crossing the line in the BMW, 145.0. Karsten Quint in the 555. He ran a 44.8 last time around. This lap does not count for the AM class winner from Montreal. Arif Aziz now crossing the line. Clinton Funk is next, heading through the S's in the 122 as he pulls off the track out of the way of Romain Moretto. Arif runs a 46.4. And let's head back. You're already ahead of me. You're terrific, Bryan. Romain Moretto in the 23. The Frenchman trying to improve on his already quick 1 minute 42.692 for car number 23. I would get so anxious crossing those curves like that, Bryan, in that final corner. Across the line for Retto.
It's not too bad when you're perpendicular to him. You just basically bump over him. But the problem is when you put only 2 tires on them going parallel with them, then your car starts to lose a little grip. Especially these bumpy ones on the left here.
43.6 for Ray.
You'll see tonight, if somebody tries to touch this once on turn 1 while they're braking, you lose so much control of the vehicle. Your right side tire is still in the drive, and your left side tire say, I'm bouncing too much.
As Kevin Fanning goes to second, looking for 0.2 of a second on Romain Moretto. He is behind Ray Kingsbury, so he might be getting slipstream down the straightaways. That's insane how they're crossing that. They are center with the yellow inner curb in turn 2 and turn 3. And I'm surprised, Bryan, that we don't have more drivers trying to find some sort of slipstream. That you're hemorrhaging time down the front straightaway. As Karsten Quint in the 555. 6.5 minutes. We got about 1.5 minutes. They have that extra 5 minutes built into qualifying for the flying laps to count. Let's head back to Romain Moretto in the 23. Will he improve? Will he stay on pole position if Fanning has something for him? Fanning had Kingsbury to slipstream the entire length of the front straightaway, over the curbs, into the final corner. Easy on the throttle, don't over-rotate, and across the line for car 23, 1 minute 42.603. He improves ever so slightly. And Kingsbury drifting out of the final corner, the points leader. Does he have anything for pole position here in Mexico City? 143.5. He improves, but not his position. Fanning's got nothing either, and I think this is 1 lap left. Let's ride on board the Porsche for this lap with Romain Moretto.
Christian Youngwall up to P2, 142.774.
This race might be closer than we thought, Bryan. Between a lot more cars than just 2 or 3 of them. Raymond Rodriguez still on the AM class pole position. And he's got about 0.3 over Scott Lindgren in the 4. As Romain goes through the right, the left, another right into the S's. And then the final left of these S's. Checkered flag is out in qualifying. Flying laps will count. Romain Moretto, I would say the first car, he won't be. Arif Aziz crosses the line up front, 45.4. He goes to 12th quick. And Romain Moretto into the stadium for the final time in qualifying. Exiting the stadium, getting oh so close to the safer barrier on corner exit, and Romain has given it up. Fanning's the next car. in the 911. Will he have anything for Reto in the 23? Final corner for the McLaren. Throttling up, sliding through front straightaway for the 911, crossing the line to end qualifying. 1 minute 42.790. It's still P3. Back to Ray Kingsbury. No, he has given up his lap as well. That looks as though pole position for Romain Rateau. Christian Youngwall second. Impressive for the man who finished second at Monza in Italy. Kevin Fanning, Raymond Rodriguez, Ray Kingsbury, championship leader, fifth in qualifying. There's John Majoribank, Scott Lindgren, Bryan Sohn, Tucker Lindgren, Marwan Moftah, Karsten Quint, Arif Aziz, and Clinton Funk 13th and last in the field tonight in Mexico City. Well, we got a minute, Brian. Let's go over some programming notes before they kick it to warm-up.
Absolutely. So, coming up this week on ASN, this Sunday we got the Track Racer NASA Cross Car Challenge. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Josh Darnell and myself. It's Atlanta week. Driver's favorite, Brian's least favorite. I have never been good here, but drivers seem to love it, so we're going. On Monday, we got the NASA Rallycross Contenders and World Championship. That is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For the Contenders, 9 for the World Championship. That's going to be you and me, Josh. And then we're back here next week, same time, same place, for the finale of the SimCAR Grand-Am Series at Sebring. It's going to be a rough one. That's a very bumpy track, too. So,
at least it's not raining. It was raining last season there. That was
it was.
That was a show and a half. Speaking of show, we have been sent to the warm-up. So we are going to step aside for just a couple moments, and on the other side of the break, we go racing in Mexico City. Stay tuned.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds it.
Side between these two and turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Exiting turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap clock at the inside line. McLaughlin contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up Benny to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. The grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like we're able to hold his power.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
The SimCAR Grand-Am Series on ASN is brought to you by Bryan not knowing the correct buttons, Penguin RC Simulation, Too Fast Racing, Lambert Designs, and Mr. Patches. Pay attention, Mr. Sawyer. I love roasting you because you do the same to me. Welcome back to Mexico City. What, Bryan? You got something for me?
You see what happened here is I started watching the actual YouTube stream, which is like 3 minutes behind where we actually are. And I got distracted by that timer.
We're professional. I promise you. Bryan Sawyer, Josh Mertz in the commentary box for the SimCAR Grand-Am Series. Super fun series so far this season. Super glad to be here for the opportunity. And we went over programming notes before the break because I'm a very good broadcast journalist and show director, and I decided to do it backwards. But just know, next show is Crosscar on Sunday. We'll go over it later on in the
I'm excited
show.
for 2 weeks from now for Crosscar. We're going back to Crandon, which is Crandon short this time, so it's going to be a lot more controlled, but a lot of speed.
I know this is not obviously NASA, but I want more than 6 cars on Sunday. NASASimRacing.com for any and all information. Let's get these grids up more than 6 cars because Crandon, we had 60 cars for Crosscar last season, and we had 6 last week. Clinton Funk is saying that I have accused an innocent child of stealing a Porsche. He's not a child and he's not innocent because he stole the safety car. Okay? They had to steal someone else's car to make the safety car. Those are Brandon Lambert's words, not mine. But we watch Scott Lindgren third in warm-up right now. I need to ask you, Mr. Sawyer. What, Bryan?
Yeah. No,
well, I was going to ask you predictions, but if you have something, go ahead.
No, predictions. I think we're going to have one hell of a battle between Marwan Mafta and the rest of the top of the field. I think Marwan's going to pretty much get out front and have people on his backside all race. I don't know if he'll win. I feel like... Sorry, not Marwan. I'm all messed up.
You don't know how to
Romain
read.
Rateau. I know, I'm having a problem right now. Romain Rateau. I think Romain Rateau is going to get out front and have a whole lot of people chasing him down. And I don't know if he'll win. I kind of thinking he will, and I'm hoping Ray holds on to the AM class this evening. Yeah, he dropped a monster lap in qualify, and him and I put in a lot of practice this week. So,
well, the good news, and also it's a double-edged sword, right? Because like we've talked about, we've documented all season, the AM class is no longer scored. For example, he's 4th overall in first in AM class. He doesn't get 4th place points. He gets 1st place points. Now that's great if you win. And it's good if you finish 2nd or 3rd, but it's also on the other side of the coin, if he's got a big points lead and Tucker's down in 9th, it's not 9th place points. It's 4th place points. They've fixed that points math formula rather for the AM class. So it changes things up a little bit. We look at Arif Aziz in the stadium section here at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, named after the Rodriguez brothers. Back in 1963, I think. This could be completely off base, but I recall reading that one or both of them died in the 60s in Formula One. I could get my facts mixed up, but either way, they named the track after them. Wonderful circuit. Brian, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Does iRacing model the altitude correctly? Because I believe this track is a mile up.
Yes, it does. And Mexico City is a mile up.
Do you think that affects some of these cars versus a few others? Okay.
It does.
So maybe that's why Christian Youngwall, a 10th off of pole position. Great driver in his own right, finished 2nd in Monza, but I'm noticing a correlation. He finished 2nd in Monza, 2nd in qualifying here, faster circuits for the Mustang. I think he fared well at Daytona to open the championship. Can't believe that was already 9 weeks ago, Mr. Sawyer. And let's take a look at the grid for Mexico City. On pole position, car number 23 in the Porsche, Romain Rateau from France. On his outside will be Christian Youngwall, car number 22 in the Ford Mustang. Kevin Fanning, challenging Kingsbury for the championship. He is in 3rd. AM Class championship leader Raymond Rodriguez in 4th. Kingsbury 5th. Jean Majoribank 6th. And then the rest of the AM Class. Scott Lindgren, Bryan Sohn, Tucker Lindgren, Marwan Moftah, Karsten Quint, Arif Aziz, and Clinton Funk 13th and last. I have a bone to pick with iRacing. I don't believe it's SimCAR. They wouldn't do it intentionally. But the inconsistencies of full pace laps versus half pace laps. I feel like I'm going to take a nap for the next couple minutes, Brian.
It's okay. Clinton Funk talking about his crash. He crashes whichever car is his.
He took his teammate's car.
Exactly. I was gonna say earlier. I have a beautiful graphic of Clinton Funk. I just want to kind of make a nice pop-up graphic that's just crash highlights of the race brought to you by Clinton Funk.
I love it. See, I'm not the only one that is promoting. Well, I don't think it's lies and slander because it's truth, right? As we roll for the formation lap here in Monza. The only thing that's unfortunate about right now in this series is there's no standing starts, because we watch in Formula One the standing start down this front straightaway, but half of me wants to say, Brian, that a rolling start here would be even more exciting because you're already up to speed taking the green flag. What are we going to watch going down into turn number 1? 4 wide, 5 wide, chaos, crashes, flip counter?
I don't know. I hope I don't break the flip counter out on GT3, but I don't know. I'm always partial to standing starts. I think they're more fun. It's more fun to watch, more fun to be a part of.
Shout out Matty Grove. You did make it before a green flag. Rolling starts? What, Brian? Sorry.
Yeah, rolling starts, I just feel like, I mean, part of it's on drivers, not knocking anybody, but you should be a lot closer than some people are on rolling starts. And there's big gaps, and I feel like everybody should pretty much be bumper to bumper, pretty much. As soon as that green flag drops, there's gaps all over, and sometimes you don't want the gap in front of you. You're trying to be up on the guy right in front of you, and he's like 3 car lengths back off the guy in front of him. It just kind of makes it not an equal experience for everybody.
We had a messy start. Speaking of rolling starts, a couple messy restarts and the initial start in Magny-Cours in France last week. So who knows what will happen over the next hour of racing for the SimCAR Grand-Am Series. Just want to remind everyone, if you like what you see on the Automotive Sports Network, be sure to like and subscribe no matter the platform. at ASN TV USA, except for Twitter, because Elon Musk doesn't like us, and we've got a support ticket, but who knows if there's even human beings there that will approve the support ticket. Either way, we also have a .onion domain. Bryan might give you the link to that if you ask him really nicely. Be sure to ring the bell, whatever, for notifications.
DM'd me.
Yeah, that you have to promote more, right?
I think the viewers are getting younger. They don't know what .onion is. Gone are the days of Tor.
That's fair. Kids these days don't know how to use Windows, even less than the dark web, Bryan. Nobody knows how to use a file system. It's all iPhones and Android phones. I digress. Old man shouts at cloud. Before we went on a tangent, before we take the green flag, asntvUSA.com, my point was, if you'd like your content broadcasted, we like to try and bring a podcast vibe when everything is calmed down, and when the green flag drops, it is business at the front of the field. We've got 13 cars, 1 hour of racing. Championships are hanging in the balance for Ray Rodriguez and Ray Kingsbury. On the front row of the grid will be Romain Rateau and Christian Youngwall as the safety car heads to pit lane. Thanks for joining us tonight on ASN. We get set to go green in Mexico City. Green flag in Mexico City. Very late start for Rateau again compared to last week in France. Shooting the middle is Majori Banks on the 2 championship leaders. They're getting super close down the front straightaway. Majori Banks weaving left, weaving right, like he's texting and driving almost. Down to the first corner, Rateau fanning Youngwall. Majori Banks gets to 4th. The championship leaders are side by side with Rodriguez and Kingsbury, Lindgren, Son, Mofta, Tucker Lindgren, Arif Aziz, Karsten Quint, and Clinton Funk. One call around Rodriguez in the 129 in turn 3. Clinton Funk spins as well in the 122. Well,
that is not what I wanted to see this evening.
Now we've got Raymond way down the order in the 129. Do we have a replay of that? Do we want to take a second look?
Yeah, we do. He just got touched on the inside, and can't get touched when you're turning. It's going to be a bad time. Same thing happened to Clinton there.
I'm curious to see what will happen if that'll be deemed a racing incident, because that's both championship leaders that have just made contact in turn 3 on the opening lap here in Mexico City. Romain Rateau has already built up a 3/4 of a second lead.
I don't know how you look at it, because I mean that is technically the racing line where Kingsbury was all the way on the inside, but that's almost off the track. Is it leaving the track and causing an incident, or I mean, it's technically not leaving the track to iRacing standards, but who knows? Track limits are a mystery.
At the end of the first lap, Romain Rateau has already gapped Kevin Fanning by a second from the 23 to the 911. Christian Youngwall in the 22, close behind. John Majori Banks and Ray Kingsbury, the top 5. So it's an even split between the 5 pro cars and everybody else in the AM subclass. Raymond Rodriguez slipstreaming Karsten Quint down the front straightaway through 1, through 2, through 3. As we take a look at the moment, it's Marwan Mofta and Bryan Son. Shout out to Bryan Son, 2nd in class. He was 3rd before the issue for Rodriguez, and he has shown immense improvement in the 0-3, Bryan.
Whoop. That's not the button we're looking for.
It's okay. You can't push buttons. I can't speak. We're off to a great start.
I was looking for a link. Actually, I want to give everybody the live timing link.
Karsten Quint has gotten passed by Raymond Rodriguez. And what a move. Incident on lap 1, under investigation with Ray Kingsbury and Raymond Rodriguez. Curious to see what will happen. Join in with us with live timing featured in chat. See how your favorite driver is motoring along in Mexico City. And there's a battle brewing for second, Bryan, between Fanning and Youngwall, with Majori Banks close behind. Rateau still leads by 1.6 seconds now. From Youngwall, Majori banks to the inside with Youngwall on the curb, had a little bit of oversteer, and the 30 moves up to third. Fastest lap reset by Rateau in the 23. And Raymond Rodriguez is 3 seconds off of Arif Aziz. He will need a miracle to catch up to the rest of this field, and this is not what he needs. Thankfully, there's a drop week, but then you think, Bryan, what is your drop week before the week that will probably become your drop week? It's my concern.
All right, Josh.
I thought I lost you for a second.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little trivia here. We got three GT3 cars. What 3 GT3 cars perform best in the high altitude? Answer that after Christian Youngwall and John Majoribanks sort out whatever the hell they got going on here. Christian Youngwall into the back of John Majoribanks right before the slalom section, looking to make a pass.
Porsche versus Ford. Oh, Youngwall ran it deep through the left. Had to give up his entry into the right, and now we're into the back straightaway, heading towards the stadium section. You can make a move heading into this corner, but it is ballsy. He backs out of it in the 22.
I'd be afraid of throwing the weight of the Ford around that much. It's such a big car.
It seemed so slow. I was watching his laps in practice and qualifying, practice mainly before we came on air, and it's not a dig at him at all. It just looks so slow, and it makes me remember the original Mustang on iRacing. Rateau resets fastest lap again at a 42.6.
He is hauling the mail, Josh.
Fanning second, third Majoribanks, fourth Youngwall, fifth Ray Kingsbury. Scott Lindgren breaking the toe on Bryan Sohn, leading the AM class. But our closest battle right now still is Majoribanks versus Youngwall. In regards to your trivia question, I have no clue, but I wonder if anyone hanging out with us can answer that question without using a search engine or an AI.
Well, Josh, I couldn't because I had to use the AI. But
That's
it's
fair.
the turbocharged. It's all 3 turbocharged cars: the BMW, the Ferrari, and the Acura. Since the turbocharger condenses the air before it hits the engine. All the other cars, it says the Mercedes, Porsche, and Lamborghini lose about 3% of horsepower for every 1,000 feet. So we're about a mile up. So that's like 15% power or horsepower, which seems like a lot. These cars are still hauling.
The only one of those 3 cars in this field is Raymond Rodriguez, who just clipped the curb and spins in the S's in the 129, saves it. He was pushing so hard to try and catch Arif Aziz, and he hit the little drainage ditch on the curb. The curb is elevated, the red and white serrated curb, dropped off that to the little drainage patch of green curb, and around he went.
Not the race he's looking to have this evening. Looking at his competition in AM, Tucker Lindgren chasing down Marwan Moftah for 8th.
Romain Rateau again sets fastest lap, 2 seconds out in front already after 4 completed laps. Tucker Lindgren, who won 4 races in a row, spun a couple times last week in France. We've got Scott Lindgren breaking the toe to Bryan Sohn from the 4 to the 0-3 for the AM class lead, and Youngwall still chasing down Majoribanks for 3rd overall, half a second between them.
Josh, while that fastest lap graphic was up, we got confirmation on the Raymond Rodriguez Ray Kingsbury incident on lap 1, turn 2. That will be reviewed after the race.
That's probably the smartest decision. You and I both know not to make, sometimes making calls in the middle of a race is not a good idea, especially when it's involving championship protagonists. And while they're the 2 separate class leaders, it still would affect both of them if a call was made.
Yeah, exactly.
Karsten Clinton Funk, lap 1, under investigation for the 555 and the 122. That was that turn 3 contact for them as well.
If that one comes up with an incident, Josh, I'm gonna guess that they held the first one just for championship implications, because it was essentially the same incident between the 2 groups of drivers.
half of me would love the chaos of giving a penalty mid-race, and half of me as a league admin says that would be controversial to do that mid-race. But we take a look from high above. Bryan, Sawyer, Marwan, Moftar. This is Moftar and Tucker Lindgren. We're just going to keep the graphic up at this point all race, because Romaine's just going to keep resetting fastest lap every time he crosses the finish line. But I suspect Tucker's going to get a move done on Moftar this time around, potentially into turn 1. Gap is 0.3. Oh, no, he won't. Marwan is gapping him. Interesting. The gap is 0.4 of a second. It was 0.3 at the beginning of the straight, down to turn 1. Marwan on the curb, but he got the car slowed down and he got it rotated for turn 1. And Youngwall still 0.3 away, 0.4 away from Majoribanks for third. I don't think Majoribanks has had a podium this season. Could be off base on that one. One podium this season for him. And according to the teams, he's teammates with Youngwall, so I don't think there'd be anything too crazy between those two then. Exiting the S's. 3 seconds is the gap from Rateau to Fanning. Are we going to see something like Motegi a couple weeks ago, Bryan, but this time it's going to be Rateau instead of Fanning?
Potentially.
Youngwall deep on the brakes, nearly into his teammate. Racing incident for Clinton Funk and Karsten Quint.
Interesting. You want to go compare the two incidents once again?
Yes, I'll keep an eye on live pictures if you want to handle those replays.
Sure, if I can find them.
42.0 for Rateau. Just for perspective, that's 0.6 of a second faster than Fanning's fastest lap.
Let's look at the Ray Rodriguez incident again with Ray Kingsbury. Ray on the inside, just barely touching. I could see that one being a racing incident also. And then we'll go back and we'll look at the Clinton Funk incident. Oh. I think Clinton did that one to himself.
Karsten was backed up in turn 2, and Clinton shot the gap and then closed the door.
And Clinton closed the door with his hand in the door still.
Yeah, Karsten had more of a car than Ray did on Raymond. So I agree with the call to leave it to after the race. An interesting development that's happening, and we watch it now, is Ray Kingsbury in 5th being chased down by a quicker Scott Lindgren in car number 4. Fastest lap for Scott was a 43.929. Fastest lap for Ray was a 44.2. Last time around, Scott was half a tenth up, which doesn't mean much by itself, but Scott has closed this gap up, and this is now the closest battle we have on track. You think Ray's rattled? Is he worried about a potential penalty?
I don't think he's worried. He can't worry. It happened. It's over. It was lap 1. It's lap 8 now. You shouldn't even be thinking about it anymore.
Down the front straightaway, Scott Lindgren not staying in the slipstream all the way of Kingsbury as we head down the straight. The Mercedes leads the McLaren, leads the Corvette. And then the other McLaren of Marwan Moftar not missing anything up front. It's 3.6 seconds now from the Porsche of Rateau to the McLaren of Kevin Fanning. Lindgren, Sohn, Kingsbury, and Moftar all within half a second of each other from one car to the next, battling for 5th through 8th. Heading down the second straightaway, Lindgren closes in. So misleading, you think he's right there, and the gap opens back up. It's 0.4, call it 0.5 of a second between these two. Heading through the second sector, down towards the S's. And I don't think the Mercedes is set up well for these S's. It's such a long car compared to the McLaren. Through the left, through the right. Heading through the second set, Kingsbury very wide, has to compromise the entrance. And I cannot believe how far these guys are going off these curves. It's NASA track limits and then some.
It's almost NASCAR track limits.
Maybe that's what they applied since they scanned the track to the inside. Lindgren on Kingsbury in the stadium. And Kingsbury lets him go.
I don't think he let him go. I just don't think you can do anything to retaliate there.
Off the final corner.
Inside, you can't put too much angle in the wheel while you're trying to drive around that tight of a section because you still need to have your foot on the gas. You try and put that much angle and you're spinning the car in a circle.
Lindgren is gapping Kingsbury down the front straightaway. It's 2/10. He pulled a 10th. Kingsbury backs up. I think Ray's going to alternate his strategy here if he hasn't already. Looks like he's lifting and coasting to the inside. Bryan Sohn on Kingsbury in the 25. And here comes Moftaw as well. So is Ray going to start conserving fuel to potentially undercut his championship rivals? Tucker Lindgren, Marwan Moftaw battling for the third spot in the AM class. Lindgren to the inside. Nothing doing. Still our closest battle on track is this quartet. Let's call it a duo now with Moftaw and Lindgren. As Kingsbury, what has happened to Ray? Tumbling down the order because he's crashed in the 25. The championship leader overcorrected and into the wall in the S's. The first bit of pressure potentially getting to the inaugural series champion. 5 wins on the bounce, but he won't be doing it tonight.
Oof. Yeah, we're going to go back and watch that one more time. That is exactly why you cannot touch those outside curbs. You see how much his car is bouncing there. Those outside curbs on straights, when you're trying to turn, you can't brake and touch them. You will do exactly that.
He did the exact same thing that Raymond Rodriguez did. So both Rays in the same corner, but Rodriguez got away with it. Kingsbury overcorrected. And I cannot believe the silver platter that Kevin Fanning has been served. But the only thing that sucks for him, Bryan, is the drop week. And Ray's drop week is going to be tonight.
Yeah.
But that helps Kevin's momentum going into next week in Sebring. At least that's my opinion on that.
It's going to make next week a lot more exciting.
That's just over 15 minutes in. And both championship protagonists in both classes clashed in turn 3, and then they had their separate incidents in turn 8. As one car around, for the, fourth consecutive week, Tucker Lindgren has looped it somewhere on the circuit.
Happy about that. The car that just passed him, Ray Rodriguez.
When you were saying earlier, you said it's effectively going to be chaos, and you said only half the field's going to finish or have a clean race. I originally didn't believe you. I thought you were full of crap. I'm believing you. Because everybody's having some form of a mistake so far, and we're only a third of the way into the race.
Yeah, like I said, it's very difficult. I was half tempted to get Alex Larson here doing this in the booth tonight, and then so I could go down there and drive as a guest driver, as I put so many laps in. But they weren't clean, and I knew I was going to be spinning out, so I said, I'm not going to ruin anybody's race.
As we look right now at Bryan Sohn with Marwan Moftaw, closest battle on track, half a second between them. This is for second in the AM class. Right ahead of them, Scott Lindgren, so our AM podium on display at the moment. John Majoribanks, a second away from Kevin Fanning. Christian Youngwall, 1.1 away from Majoribanks. So the top, well, Romain Rateau's in his own postcode, and then you have Fanning, Majoribanks, and Youngwall dueling away for those podium places. And is Ray Kingsbury pitting in the 25? No, he's staying out without the front bumper. Interesting, though. Maybe you're not going fast enough. Up to second. Youngwall passes Majoribanks in the S's. What a move from the Mustang on his teammate. He he came from a long way back. Let's take a second look. Ripped the outside, sent it, unless Majori Banks let him through. I'm not entirely sure, but I want to think that Youngwall sent it and made it stick. "41 minutes and some change left to go here in Mexico City as Youngwall all over the track. Does he hit the wall in the final corner? He was crossed up on the exit. Here comes Majori Banks. Majori Banks is gaining under 3/10, under 2.5 I think the teammates will be dueling down to turn number 1. Majori Banks in the slipstream under 2/10, pokes to the inside on his teammate side by side. This is for third, and the teammate lets him go. Are we going to see some Peloton relay racing with fuel conservation between these two, perhaps?
That'd be pretty interesting. This is definitely a track to try it at. Not the one I would do, but
interesting bit of strategy we will keep our eyes on, as this is the closest battle we have. As that battle mid-pack has subsided, Lindgren 1.1 ahead of Sohn, who is 3/4 of a second up on Marwan Moftah. But you know who's getting close to these AM class cars ever so slightly is Raymond Rodriguez. 3.8 away from Moftah. Through the S's again for the third position. Majori Banks holds it over Youngwall this time. Gap is 2.5 between these guys as we stay focused on Rodriguez. I brought that point up looking at the lap times. Best lap-wise, Ray is faster than Moftah and Lindgren, but the last time around they were equal, so we'll just have to keep an eye on the 129. Clinton Funk has damage to the back of the 122. Was there a separate incident that we missed? Or did he...
there's been a whole lot for Clinton Funk. I don't want to... You know what? Actually, we got a moment. Clinton Funk sympathy corner. Let's go.
He committed theft and then crashed and got crashed. Oh, he did crash. It was lap 9 in the final corner.
His incident on lap 3.
Does the same thing that the Rays did.
And
didn't hit the wall.
9.
This is lap 9. I wonder what the SimCAR officials are going to charge him for crashing the safety car. He's already crashed his car. Cash stole his other car. Sir, stop committing theft. Jail time, as our friend Josh Darnell would say. 5.7 seconds up front from Rateau to Fanning. Youngwall and Majori Banks battling for third. I'll tell you what, Moftah is 4/10 away from Sohn for second in class. The AM class getting good here. Lindgren is a second up on Sohn, who is a further half second up on Moftah. And if they keep dueling, Raymond Rodriguez has already cut half a second out of those guys' gaps because, Bryan, your man was a second faster than Scott Lindgren the last time around.
Excellent.
But no commentators cursed. Did you see how he was yawed through the S's? I thought he was going around.
This is probably the hardest part of the track for the BMW. It doesn't take the curbs as well as some of the others. I was driving the McLaren and I was taking him just fine, and then sometimes he would touch it the same way I did.
Romain's pitting.
A little loose.
The 23 pitting a little early in the Porsche. Not sure what's going on here, but he's angled out of his pit box, blocked by the trees.
Did he just leave? Yeah, he left it. He's getting tires.
Ooh, okay. So this puts Fanning in the race lead. Youngwall did not make a move on Majori Banks. Those 3 AM cars still dueling. Rateau is still up on the jacks. He's now down and away out of that first pit box. 41.2 in the lane, 21.8 stationary for the Frenchman.
Gonna go back up to Youngwall on Majori Banks. 3/10 separate these two. Getting ready to hit the slalom section, and Youngwall might be able to do it again. He did it on his teammate last time. Oh, it's the same. It's the same people.
Through the left, through the right. The Ford looked like it was cooperating the first bit of the S's, but he missed the apex of that third corner and heading down to enter the stadium section in the Ford Mustang. I'm looking off monitor at Kevin Fanning to see if he will be pitting in the 911. It's Clinton Funk from last in the stolen safety car pits, and Fanning stays out. Majori Banks, Youngwall, they all stay out. Bryan Sohn trying to find a way around on Scott Lindgren from the 0-3 to the 4, battling on track for the 4th position. Nobody else is pitting so far in Mexico. It's been such a fun season for the SimCAR Grand-Am Series. Still half a race tonight to run and the season finale in Sebring in a week's time to see who will win these championships. And then we do it all again in May, with 2026B commencing on the 7th of May at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Youngwall, Majori Banks still dueling, technically for second on the road. But I'm curious to know when these pit stops will unravel where everybody will come out. Porsche versus Ford. Exiting the S's. 3/10 between them, still closest battle. Lindgren holding off Sohn by 9/10 of a second. Raymond Rodriguez has sliced that gap to 2.7 to Marwan Moftah.
Actually, taking a look here, Josh, they have a nice schedule next season. That's the wrong button, Josh. This is
Fanning
what we were
stays
looking
out.
for.
Take us through next season.
Spa, Nürburgring, Suzuka, Miami, Laguna Seca, Bathurst, Lime Rock Park. Good Lord. DIR and Barber.
Guess what
There's
round
one
10
more
is
round.
that's not featured on the graphics?
Guess what round 10 is?
You got one choice. One
I got
answer.
One choice.
One guess.
Interlagos.
You're right.
Am I really?
Yes.
It's a good season finale.
We saw
My
that
favorite
last
track.
season.
Josh, if it's Porsche Cup, I'm leaving you.
That's fine. Has the poll been updated yet?
We've
been trying to figure that one out.
It's Porsche Cup at Interlagos. I'm gone. I'll see you next season.
Well, they've gotten 32 votes in total, 1 vote for GT3, 15 votes for GT4, 1 vote for GTP, and 15 votes for Porsche Cup.
Ooh,
Alex Larson, you better figure out the production truck, my friend, because I think our boy will be jumping in a car. 33 minutes left to go, just under halfway completed tonight in Mexico City. Just waiting to see if any of these guys will pit in the next lap or so. Otherwise, we might step aside a pinch early, but we will see what happens. Fanning in the stadium section, leading by 2 seconds over Jean Majori Banks. Majori Banks has his teammate Youngwall all over the rear wing of that Porsche. And Fanning does not pit. Majori Banks does not pit. Youngwall does not pit. Tell you what, we are going to take this opportunity and step aside on the Automotive Sports Network. You will not miss a thing. We go ASN nonstop from Mexico City.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds
By
it.
side between these two in turmoil, this is going to get spicy.
Exiting turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap clock at the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. In the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up heading to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. The grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Robbie's going to hold his power. The SimCAR Grand-Am Series on ASN is brought to you by Penguin RC Simulation, Too Fast Racing, Lambert Designs, and Mr. Patches. If you like what you see tonight, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network, no matter the platform at ASN TV USA. And according to Bryan, if you DM him, he can send you the .onion dark web domain. Ring the bell to catch our live streams every week. We crossed 1,000 subscribers live this season. Super fun to have that happen. As we set our sights on the final race of the season next week. We still have half a race, words are hard, left tonight. And I've been trying to keep an eye on everybody pitting Mr. Sawyer. And John Majoribanks has pipped Romain Rateau. We talked in the break. We were talking about Raymond Rodriguez taking tires. We talked about there was Brian Sohn not taking tires. Majoribanks didn't take tires. Romain pitted early, and he's down the order. We're waiting for Fanning, Youngwall to pit. Ray has not pitted either. Kingsbury in the 25. If you're just joining us, welcome in. Bryan Sawyer, Josh Mertz on ASN. We had the two championship protagonists, Ray Kingsbury, Raymond Rodriguez, come together in turn 3, lap 1. And then they promptly, at separate points of this first half, crashed in turn 7, the entrance to the S's, in identical fashions. It has been interesting, to say the least, tonight in Mexico City.
Yeah, that's an interesting gap between Majoribanks and Rateau. That's 4.5 seconds. That's huge.
Fanning staying out. Youngwall stays out.
Traffic.
Really quick, while we have some time, Bryan, take us through what's upcoming on ASN.
Give me one moment here because I don't want to break away from the race. But I can find this button. Here we go. This Sunday we have the Track Racer NASA Cross Car Challenge. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's that's me and Josh Darnell. We got too many Joshes. Monday we got the NASA Rallycross Contenders and World Championship, 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Atlanta Long this week for all 3 series. Next week, same time, same place. SimCAR Grand-Am Series finale at Sebring. Then we go to Crandon Short for Cross Car. So that will be super fun.
Pitting is Tucker Lindgren in the 997 from the 7th position overall, second place man in the AM class points.
Let's see where he comes out. I don't think his car is up. Ray took tires during the break.
He did not take tires. Tucker, 8.7 in the box. I'm going to count probably 25, 26, 27.8 in the lane. He comes out ahead of Karsten Quint and behind Bryan Sohn on track by 9.5 seconds.
Right.
So we look at, is this Quint with Raymond Rodriguez? So the 555 and the 129. This is for position between the winner from Montreal and the points leader and winner from last week, Raymond Rodriguez. Through 1, through 2, through turn 3. Up the second straightaway. Karsten gonna let him go. Interesting. Oh, Karsten hasn't pitted. That explains that.
Karsten hasn't pit. Yeah, we got only about half the cars haven't pit yet. Fanning hasn't pit. Youngwall hasn't pit. Lindgren. You know what's going to be easier than me reading that here? I'll just give you all the pit times. People that don't have times haven't pit yet. Some pretty significant differences too. Raymond Rodriguez 42 seconds in there. Tucker Lindgren 27 seconds.
So a pretty even split between cars that have taken tires and cars that have not taken tires. And it's one of these times where we just have to wait for all the strategies to unravel. The race diverges with these varying strategies. Majori Banks passes Moftar. What has happened to Moftar? They are dueling on track for position in the 191 and the 30. Moftar was nearly 2 seconds slower than Majori Banks that last time around. I think he's trying to make it to the pit lane this time for Silverback Racing.
Yeah, we're going to see the tire fall off. I know for some of these cars, about 15 laps puts you at about 80% tires remaining. We're closing in on looking like we're going to do about 36 laps. So can you drive a car with 60% tire remain? I mean, you can. It's not exactly as fast as a car with brand new tires. But
Fanning stays out.
Tire fall off is the difference is.
Through the S's, Majori Banks and Moftar. Top two have stayed out. Lindgren will be the next car aiming towards the pit lane. Will he pit in car number 4? And then it's Majori Banks. When this race converges and comes back together, it'll be fascinating to watch what has happened during this middle portion of the pit sequence. Because Ray hasn't pitted and he doesn't have that front bumper after that crash for the championship leader. Has that been affecting him? He ran a 44.9 for his last lap time in the 25. He's currently sitting 7th. The only good thing about him crashing tonight, as we've documented, Bryan, his worst result was a 3rd place finish multiple times this season. This will be his worst finish by far.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's what I was saying earlier in the season. I mean, he basically gains a 3rd place position tonight. So he's going to be very happy about that, having all those excellent podiums sitting up there as his potential drop weeks. So he can't afford to just have a week like this.
Fanning leads Youngwall by 4 seconds at the sharp end of the field. Moftar, Majori Banks still dueling away. It's 3/4 of a second. We focus on Fanning to see when the 911 winner from Motegi in his own zip code will pit. He got really squirrely on entry, over-rotated in the stadium section. Is he aiming to the pit lane? No.
He is not.
The fuel cells are capped at 70% for these GT3 cars. But when are they going to try and stretch it? The pit stop, I don't think, is required according to the regs. If you can make it work, is my understanding.
Oh, I don't think you can make it 10 more laps, though.
I don't think so either, genuinely. But these guys are certainly stretching it.
Yeah, especially, he's still running 142s.
Majori Banks, first car that is pitted. Moftar, yet to pit. He stays out as well. You had one car pit early. It was Romain Rateau. He is still buried in traffic in 6th. And even then, if Fanning, Youngwall, Lindgren, and Moftaw all pit and take tires, he would still not have the race lead because Majori Banks stayed out. But he's getting close. These three are converging from 4th to 6th if we could take a look at this. Because Romain's fresh tires are going to come into play compared to Majori Banks on worn rubber in the 30. I keep thinking about when these leaders are going to pit, Bryan, and what they're going to do. Because if the gap is 28.5 seconds, if Fanning has to take fuel only. Otherwise, he will lose the lead. No, he would barely hold the lead. I stand corrected. Math is hard. 31.1. Roughly a 29-second box time, or pit stop time, if he only takes fuel. But who knows? We got 19 minutes left, and nobody is showing signs of pitting. It'll be an interesting post-race show, so be sure to stick around and hang out with us, the Josh and Bryan podcast post-race show.
Josh.
Yes, Bryan.
I think this is the only F1 Grand Prix I want to go to. I want to sit right here, right in that area. It looks so nice and shady right there, and you get an excellent view of just all the cars having to slow down.
You got the podium, too, when they finish.
Yeah. Well, you can't see the podium from there. Your back would be to it. In the big stadium section?
The podium's in the stadium.
Is it?
You'd be looking towards it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The actual podium, not the start-finish line.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Running order has not changed. Majori Banks has not put a dent in Fanning's lead either. And I'm focused on this because Majori Banks is the first car that has pitted. Romain Rateau has caught Moftaw and passed him. He's half a second away from Majori Banks. He was 1.2 seconds faster the last time around on Majori Banks. I think Romain can blitz through Majori Banks in this hairpin and set his sights on Fanning. And if Romain starts pushing Bryan, that's going to force the top three, well, at least Fanning and Youngwall. Lindgren's on his own battle. That'll force the top two. They have to take fuel only. Oh, in the S's! Romain has to back out of it. He was so much quicker, nearly into the back of the 30. Fanning pits. Youngwall stays out. Fanning has to take fuel only. Otherwise, he will lose this lead. We have 17 minutes left. Youngwall the race lead, and Fanning, the winner from Motegi, second place man in points, down to the pit box. Not on the jacks, staying fuel only. Where is Romain Rateau? Through the left, through the right of the stadium section off monitor. Through the Peraltalda, final corner in Mexico City. Fanning is out of the pit lane. And Fanning, 27.7 box time, or pit stop time, 7.9 in the box. Son and Kingsbury dueling away in the back of the field. And now, that's 9 seconds from Fanning to Rateau. It's going to be hard for Romain to catch up. Ray has yet to pit in the 25. I don't think he's going to pit.
That's so interesting.
16 minutes left to go here in Mexico City. Scott Lindgren holds the AM class lead. And he has about 5-second lead over Marwan Moftaw. You're giving me something, Telestrator to play with. The site could not be reached. I plugged it into Brave. It didn't work.
Sick.
Oh well. We're trying things on the fly. Oh. Nope. Site cannot be reached.
Cool. My favorite.
Isn't it great? Bryan Sawyer with his best John Madden impersonation with the Telestrator, his favorite thing. And Kevin Fanning. Kevin Fanning holds he holds second. Now, if I'm Youngwall, Bryan, I'm almost saying screw it. I'm just not going to pit. I'm holding the lead. 15 minutes left. Otherwise, Kevin Fanning will fall into a second victory on the season. And I don't blame Romain for taking tires. We talked to him last week in the post-race show, and he burned through the tires. That was his only other race this season, so of course he is used to that. But he was setting blistering pace at the opening stages of this race. Tell you what, though, the only car within his zip code is Christian Youngwall, within a tenth of a second, according to the best lap tracker, which you could follow along with on the live timing featured in chat. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us tonight on ASN Live, as we are close to concluding tonight in Mexico City. And you know, after Clinton Funk stole the safety car, SimCAR went out and somehow procured a safety car, and it has not been used tonight. Youngwall pits in the 22. He could not make it work. So this will put Kevin Fanning into the race lead, unless Youngwall somehow...
He pulls a miracle pit.
Miracle.
I mean, he only needs a splash of fuel. He's got, what, 7 or 8 laps left?
Final corner for Fanning. Youngwall's in the box. Youngwall is stationary now. No chance for Youngwall. Across the line, taking the lead. Kevin Fanning in the 911, back to the point. I'll tell you what, though. This will be a duel for second between Youngwall, Majori Banks, and Rateau, the two Porsches, slipstreaming like it's Daytona down the front straightaway. And Arif Aziz in the 212. Lapped car, getting involved in this battle. Majori Banks and Rateau nearly touching to turn one. We're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to ride on board Romain Rateau. Enjoy this battle for about a lap or so here in Mexico City.
That was John Majorbanks there. No. Somebody going way wide. That was Mofta, I believe.
It was Arif Aziz who was getting out of the way.
I see.
As Romain all over the curbs in the 23. Into the left, into the right.
Contact.
He hits Majori Banks again. He has carried so much speed through those S's. 3 times you brake check me. And that's what Romain says in John Majori Banks. It's a corner. But here's the thing.
I know the other rule, Josh. I touch you once, warning. I touch you twice, I'm coming. To touch you the third time, you're going in a circle.
There's a reason why Romain Rateau is not braking in these S's. You really don't have to, judging from his...
toast.
Yeah. Down the front straightaway. Majori Banks and Romain Rateau. My wife Chloe has just roasted me. She says S's aren't corners, question mark, question mark. Well,
Rateau here has carried much more speed last time than Majori Banks. And yeah, you see him just getting on the bumper.
6.8 seconds between Fanning and Youngwall for the lead. Bryan Son is letting some cars by in the AM class. Will Rateau make a move? Diving it into turn 4! Do they touch? A lot like Lando Norris and Max Verstappen last year in Mexico. Safety car deployed.
You see, Josh? That's what I said. You once, twice, now you're moved.
Just like Lando and Max at the Mexico Grand Prix last year for Formula One in the exact same corner. Tried to send it here, couldn't close the deal, and then sent it into 5. Said, I just have to make something happen.
I don't think Majori Banks was ready for him to make the move. Just kind of turned in on him there.
Bryan, I need you to take a look at the safety car. don't know how fast this thing will go, but rumor has it Brandon Lambert picked it up off the streets of Mexico City.
I'm looking for Brandon Lambert in the timing. I don't have him yet.
He's down the front straightaway. There you go.
We have found him. Oh, we're gonna get a 27-mile-an-hour safety car here. 60. Oh, we're
66.
going highway speeds. We're going highway speeds. Hopefully, you can hold this thing together.
Hopefully, he can hold it. Hopefully, it doesn't shake apart. Who did the duct tape job on this car?
He's got one hand on the steering wheel, one hand holding the driver's side door shut.
One hand holding the steering wheel and the other holding the door closed. Terrific. Phenomenal. Chloe says that Brandon Lambert got it from the cartel. Okay. Terrific. Wonderful. Back on topic, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Josh and Bryan and apparently Chloe podcast. Under caution here in SimCAR Mexico City.
With the oval setup because that car is definitely tilted. Who just crashed under caution? That was Romain.
Oh, John drove into him. He drove into the 23. What was that?
If the first one wasn't a penalty, that one definitely will be.
What was that?
We're gonna get a better angle of that.
Professional rollback. He just drives into him. I mean, I understand you're frustrated, but come on, dude. Undercut. What are you doing?
That's a paddling.
Romain's gonna go right on by. John Majoribanks disqualified. Good. That behavior is not needed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Not sportsman behavior for sure. And
you go from having a top 5 night to just
podium,
nothing.
Bryan. He's on the rostrum holding the trophy, and he does that and throws it all away. Pit lane open. Will we see some pit stops? We might go green with a few minutes here, and the field brought together with, let's call it 5 minutes left.
The field brought together by a 66-mile-an-hour brick.
Listen, no, you're lying. 74. He's doing the average highway speed. It might be shaking really bad. Who knows?
He's under that 5-mile-an-hour limit where the cop won't pull you over.
That's what has happened. Have we lost Young? Oh no! Don't tell me we've. Okay, Christian Youngwall has blinked back in.
He's big blinking, but.
Oh. Well, another quick promo. If you like what you see in here. We have the Josh and Bryan podcast fused with coverage on ASN, no matter the platform, including the dark web. ASN_TV_USA because Elon Musk doesn't like us. We try our best.
Still trying to reach the pack. Arif Aziz, Clinton Funk. Nope. Arif Aziz, who's the 25. Ray Kingsbury. And Karsten Quint, all trying to reach the back of the pack here. Karsten Quint.
Remember this?
He is pulling over and just ending it this evening.
This happened, was it Quint exits the pit lane now? This happened, what was it, France last week? Where there was only a couple cars in the queue and they threw the green flag again. So I think the field is going to be condensed all the way back together.
Yeah, there was a lot of discussion over what the point of a safety car is if you're not going to let us condense.
They're going to do it again. Safety car is going to end at the end of this lap. I mean, most of the field's here. Ray Kingsbury's got a couple corners to go. He'll be there.
Yeah, you want 2 laps of racing. I mean, was he a lap down? Is that why he's so far back? He was trying to get the lap back?
No, he was just way down the order. Lap 29 under investigation. Romain Moretto and Jean Majoribanks. There's no investigation to be had. Romain made a move, turned John. Yeah. John didn't like it, and intent wrecked him. I digress.
I think you still got to rule on the original incident, but
that's fair. Full disclosure, ASN, we display our opinions very clearly. No bias, unless we claim it's bias, if a driver is one of ours. But I can't say that I agree with what happened. So Brandon Lambert is trying to turn the car. He clips the curb in the safety car. He almost just crashed the stolen cartel car. He will head to the pit lane. Let's get back to business, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Kevin Fanning, Christian Youngwald, Romain Rateau in the overall podium with 5 minutes left. Lindgren, Moftaw, Son on the AM podium. 43 miles an hour. We're back green in Mexico City. They did the right thing by allowing Romain back to the front, but he has a massive amount of damage on that Porsche. He is slipstreaming the 22 of Youngwald, looking to driver's left. Youngwald crosses, trying to get in the slipstream of Rateau, down to the first corner on the outside last of the late breakers, Porsche versus Ford. In the AM class, it's Lindgren, it's Moftaw, it's Son. Way off the track goes Aziz to get out of the way of the AM class battle. On the outside goes Rateau, passing Youngwald as we have 3 cars. Rodriguez passes Lindgren with Kingsbury involved as well. They nearly touch. Splitting the middle is Kingsbury down to turn 4.
This AM class battle is incredible. The top 2 in points are just glued to each other right now. Kingsbury's trying to get through the field. Doesn't really want to cause an incident with them. Ray and Ray go through the same corner they had an incident before in without incident this time.
Will the damage on Romain Rateau affect him to making a charge for the race lead through the S's? He has to lose so much speed in the 23 to try and make these corners compared to the 911 of Fanning. Lindgren and Moftaw dueling for the AM class lead. Moftaw looks to the inside, heading towards the stadium. Thinks better of it. Says, hey, I'm here, Scott. I might make a move. I might not. Who knows? Incident involving Majori Banks and Rateau under investigation after the event.
That's consistent with their original one between Ray and Ray.
3 minutes left.
Kind of the same
Moftaw.
thing, just touch.
Moftaw and Lindgren. Moftaw following the slipstream. Lindgren trying to snake his way down the front straightaway. Battling for the AM class lead. Bryan Sohn likes this. If something goes wrong between these two battling for the class lead, I don't think Romain has anything for Fanning with the front end damage down to the first corner. Lindgren still holds the lead over Moftaw. 4th and 5th overall, 1st and 2nd in class. Raymond Rodriguez has gotten by Tucker Lindgren in the AM class. Kingsbury looks to driver's left to the inside of Bryan Sohn in the 25 to the 03 down to turn 4. Gap is 1.1 at the sharp end of the field. As we head towards the S's.
By Bryan Sohn. Tucker Lindgren closing the gap.
.2 seconds is the gap. It's gaining. Romain's got nothing for the race lead. We stay focused on the battle for the AM class lead. Marwan peeked to the inside last time around, heading into the stadium just to tell Scott that he was there. Bryan, will we see a move from the Egyptian? From high above, riding the curb is Scott Lindgren. Moftaw looked left, didn't send it enough to make a move. 1 minute and 20. This should be the white flag lap. Barney's throwing it. 1 lap to go in Mexico City, and the AM class hangs in the balance between Scott Lindgren, Marwan Moftaw, and Ray Kingsbury. Might play spoiler. The championship leader, not an AM car, but he could certainly spice this up. Moftaw staying out of the slipstream, down the front straightaway. Not sure if I agree with that. Behind Lindgren, down to the first corner. The Mercedes at Kingsbury behind both of these guys. Despite the front end damage, Romain Rateau was 0.3 of a second faster than Kevin Fanning the last time around. It is 0.8 of a second for the race lead. That battle might not be over either, with Youngwald sitting in 3rd. To the outside of Moftaw goes Kingsbury. This is the last thing that Marwan Moftaw wants to see from his former teammate in the 25. The gap is still 0.8 of a second from Fanning to Rateau. Gap is 0.4 of a second from Lindgren to Moftaw. It was an interesting race with ebbing and flowing strategy. We had a late race safety car after a questionable incident, and it brought the field back together. Kevin Fanning holds the lead by 0.6 of a second. We're in the final sector of the race, and Romain Rateau pushing so hard as Arif Aziz gets a penalty for too many incident points. Down to the stadium for the final time. Kevin Fanning, who won in Motegi, is a long shot for the Drivers' Championship this season through the stadium. Romain Rateau did everything he could with the early pit stop, but it is not to be tonight. Kevin Fanning off of the final corner. Romain gives the spot to Youngwall. Fanning will win in Mexico City to the M-Class Battle, Bryan. Lindgren will hold off Mafta for 4th overall, 1st in class, and Lindgren completes the trifecta of the family winning, finally, after round 9. With Dex winning in Daytona, Tucker with those 4 in a row a couple weeks ago, and Scott gets it done in the 4. We take a look at the classification. At the end of the race in Mexico, Kevin Fanning, Christian Youngwall, Romain Rateau on the podium. That's going to be an interesting interview in a couple moments' time. Scott Lindgren wins in AM. Marlon Mafta, 2nd in AM. Points leader Ray Kingsbury in 6th. Raymond Rodriguez, AM class points leader, also on his class podium. Brian Sohn, Tucker Lindgren, Karsten Quinton 10th, followed by Clinton Funk, Arif Aziz, and John Majori Banks disqualified after the intentional accident during the safety car period. And Ray Kingsbury confirmed a no-stopper was not it. He was trying the strat after the crash, and it did not work. All right, Mr. Sawyer,
it
you tell me
when
we are set for interviews.
Give me one moment here, and I'll let you know.
It is already spicy in Discord chat.
I bet.
And, yeah. All right. Yep, messages got deleted too. Okay. That's gonna, yeah. I can't say, I can't say what the GIF says. I'll
tell me later.
I'll just text it to you right now.
Let me get one moment. Who do we have? We have Romain Rateau. Who do we want? We got Romain Rateau and Kevin Fanning.
Let's have a chat with our 3rd place man. Yes, sir.
All right, give me 1 second here, and
Mr. Rateau, how are you, my friend? I think I know this answer, but I wanted to ask you anyways. Talk me through your race.
Little nervous. Very good race. I tried to save a little fuel at the beginning, and I tried to pit earlier for save for the safety car strategy, but I don't want to see another last week at Magny-Cours when I don't change my tire, so I decided to change my tire, but no safety car until the very last part of the race. So I need to come back to push the limit of the pace. And when I come back on Marjorie Banks, he brake checked me 3 times, and after he opened the door and I take my same trajectory as all lap. You can see all lap I take this trajectory at the hairpin, and he come to me. And after, when the safety car was deployed, he decided to do something wrong, but I let the decision to the steward for that. And after I have some damage to the front of the car, so it's difficult to have another time the pace till the end. But the pace was quite good, and I tried to come back on Kevin. And I know Kevin not fight anymore with Ray for the championship. The gap is very, very big, so I don't want to fight with him. And but I know Youngwall is still have a good place in championship, so I let bypass in the last corner because I don't want to take points for anyone. Pardon. So yeah, it was a good race, quite good as a finish, but good race.
I guess what I want to ask you is, I know we talked last week in France about, I think you didn't take tires and you burned through your set, and then you had nothing for Ray, or at least for Ray, I think it was. Was that in the back of your mind as to why you took tires tonight? Because out of the top 5, you were the only car to take tires.
Yeah, I think I think the pace car, the safety car, was go on the track very earlier. My father tell me there is a lot of accident right now, so I decided to pit to don't make the same mistake than last week. But it was not the good strategy for tonight, because the pace car don't behave very earlier. So yes, last week is in my mind when I pit and I changed tires for the restart and all the strategy.
All right, my friend. Anyone you'd like to thank for the podium result tonight?
Yeah, I would like to thank you guys for the broadcast. As always, I think it's amazing. I would like to thank the league because it's just 2 race invitation. I don't be part of the championship this season, so it's very cool to come back on the league and race against my friends, Kevin, Ray. Ray have some problem with his pedal, so shout out to him. Yeah, and I would like to thank my team, obviously, my partner, so Longhorn Energy Drink, Nuage, Nuage Kinos Pro, and Michael M. Wood Google. Yeah, see you one time.
Alrighty, my friend. Always a pleasure to have a chat with you. It's a bummer that it couldn't fully come together, but maybe the 3rd time is the charm. So great run tonight, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
Not next week, and after next week I don't be free. And after I go to Magnico for IRL race. So yeah,
next season,
I don't,
then, Monsieur. Next season.
Yeah, next season. Yes.
Alrighty. Talk to you then.
Thank you.
We're going to bring in our AM class winner, Scott Lindgren. I think I've got the family tree memorized, so I think the 2 kids won earlier, and Dad finally gets his race win. I hope I didn't mess that up, but talk me through your race, my friend. It was chaos in the AM class.
Yeah, just trying to stay clean, and I'm trying to think back. It's kind of a blur now, but just got off to a good start, and just once you get your tires warmed up, I just want to put in laps, and that's what I was able to do. And people were making mistakes, and that was all I needed.
Talk me through, I guess, what the weaving. It's not. I bring this up. I don't want to seem like I'm trolling you or making fun of you. I think it's brilliant, right? But there were so many guys when you were weaving, they wouldn't even follow you. So yeah, I know. I guess it worked. I mean, I questioned it when some of those guys weren't following you to get that slipstream. So I guess it was effective. My real question is, you switched from, I think, were you in a different car and you switched to a new one this week? Or am I wrong?
Just a different livery.
Okay, I was about to ask you how the new car was, but never mind. So I guess finally getting the monkey off your back.
Yeah, that was good. Just the weaving when because Bryan was catching me in that last sector. I pulled half a second in the middle sectors, and then he'd catch me right up at the end. And that long straight, I was really worried he was going to catch me. But what I noticed was I must have had a little bit less swing on, and even without weaving, I was pulling 1 or 2 tenths on him in that long straightaway. So maybe that's why he stopped chasing me. I don't know. Anyhow.
All right, my friend. So
what was your other question?
I got the memory of a goldfish, as my wife would like to say, but I'm just happy that the trifecta is completed for the Lindgren family after 9 weeks. Everyone has gotten a win. So I just want to ask you one last question of who would you like to thank for the victory tonight?
The boys, my wife, my dogs, and the good people down at Town Fair Tire.
Terrific. All right, buddy.
All right.
Great run.
Thanks.
Great win.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Kevin Fanning, do you have a golden horseshoe somewhere? because man, this race, it seemed like it was a slow burn at first, and then Ray crashes, which that's part one of my question, and then the safety car. So you overcut Romain with no tires, and then the safety car comes out, and you suddenly have competition again. So it's like there's three phases of this race. Talk me through it.
Had a good start. I was able to get up behind Romain and draft him into turn one, and we just kind of pulled away from the rest of the group there a little bit, and then Romain was gone. I couldn't keep up with him, and then he took that early pit. I was just hoping to try to make my next laps count. I know that Ray had spun. That's all I knew at one point. Marwan had told me, and just tried to do the best I could. I figured Romain would be there at the end, and sure enough, he was. So hats off to him. He is just so quick here.
There was front end damage to the 23, which might have hindered him, but he got super close in the end. My next question is unofficially, well, we don't know points to even tell you unofficially where you're sitting, but after this win, what are we thinking heading into Sebring? What's your game plan? I mean, you don't have to give it all away, but just give us the gist of it.
I do better with no safety car races, so I'm hoping no safety car at Sebring, and just try to do the best I can. I think it'll be hard for me to catch Ray from the math we were doing before the race. I think he's got it. So,
well, I can tell you in sim racing and real racing, anything can happen. Bryan, do you have something? What do you got? You unmuted.
I think it's we're unofficial because our system is different than yours a little bit, but I think it's a 17-point gap.
Yeah, and at Sebring with Ray, it's pretty hard for him to be at the back of the pack. Not saying it's impossible, but I will have to have that horseshoe for Sebring.
This is the first time that he has not been on the podium this season, so anything is possible. Anything can happen. It usually does if ASN's covering it. So I just want to ask one last question. Who would you like to thank for the victory tonight?
Thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Thank the admin crew. Thank my teammates at Silverback Racing. Marwan did a great job tonight. We got Brandon, got Zach, got Jeff. So appreciate it, guys.
All right, buddy. Good win, and we will see you next week in Sebring.
Thank you.
Bryan, we finished up our interviews. Let me get through... Actually, no. I need a moment to drink some water. Take us through programming notes that are upcoming, and take us through unofficial points as we exit Mexico City.
Absolutely, Josh. Later this week on Sunday, we got the NASA Cross Car Challenge. That's going to be kicking off Atlanta Long Week, driver's favorites track. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and Josh Darnell will be on that call. Monday night, NASA Rallycross Contenders and the World Championship. That's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also at Atlanta Long. SimCAR comes back for their finale next week. Same time, same place, same people at Sebring. Then we get to go to the fun track for Crosscar Grand-Am. I'm really looking forward to that one. And Josh, did you want to go over points as well?
Yes, before you, it's fine. It's been a long day. Go ahead, pull those up. I just want to comment that if you guys do not watch NASA Rallycross, first of all, I'm offended. I'm kidding. Crosscar was phenomenal Sunday. The World Championship race was phenomenal. And Kieran Lifflander, Evan McFarland, they are still having an amazing battle. And Kevin Garcia, let's take a look and see if the man from New Mexico can make it 2 in a row at Atlanta on Monday night. Bryan, take it away with points.
All right, Josh. So I think we're a lot closer than we were before from unofficial to official, because if I remove the drop week, Tucker Lindgren and Raymond Rodriguez are separated by 1 point, but with the drop week, it's 18 points, 260 to 242, Raymond to Tucker. Scott Lindgren 1 point behind, or more than 1 point. Sorry, I'm looking at the other points. Scott Lindgren, Karsten Quint, Brian Sohn, Clinton Funk, Josh Sussy, Marwan Mofta, Josh Stoltz, and Rob Edgel are the top 10 in the AM class. Over in overall, Ray Kingsbury still on top there, 279 to 262 for Kevin Fanning. So that is a 17-point gap. 78 points behind them is Raymond Rodriguez, looking like he might get the third place overall standings. Cody Crosgrove, Tucker Lindgren, Karsten Quint, Scott Lindgren, Dex Lindgren, Christian Youngwall, and Matt Kingsbury are the top 10 there.
So you said 17 points is the gap. That means
that's a big mountain.
Ray would have to finish 8th or worse. But even then with the drop week, who knows? But let's just act as if the drop week doesn't exist. It'd be 8th or worse for Kingsbury. And then, if it's 18 points, that means that Raymond, so both Rays would have to finish basically 7th or worse next week in Sebring. So that, of course, we'll go over that next week as the race goes. But looking good, looking spicy. Who knows what will happen, like we always say. But Bryan, give me a final thought. We'll wrap it up.
That was a lot of fun. Hats off to the drivers. It's not as much carnage as I was thinking we were going to have this evening. So congrats to all of you for practicing and doing a job well done.
I love watching this series, love watching the championship develop, and next week is going to be super fun. As the checkered flag falls on the evening here in Mexico City. On behalf of our entire production staff, my name is Josh Mertz. Thank you for joining us for tonight's coverage of the SimCAR Grand-Am Series. Congratulations to our winners, Kevin Fanning and Scott Lindgren. And be sure to join us next Sunday for CrossCar in Atlanta. But until then, so long, everyone.